It was around 2 a.m. on what seemed like a quiet Tuesday night in a sleepy corner of Cleveland, Ohio. The whole apartment complex was dead silent, until it wasn't. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the building. It sounded like something heavy had slammed against the ground. Seconds later, a piercing scream shattered the silence. One by one, the tenants of the building rushed out of their apartments, some barefoot, some still half asleep. As they gathered outside the courtyard, a gruesome sight awaited them. There, lying face down on the cold concrete, was a young man. Blood pooled beneath his head. He wasn't moving. He wasn't breathing. He was dead. His name was Ethan Carter, just 27 years old. Now the question on everyone's mind was simple, but terrifying. Did Ethan jump from the roof and take his own life? Or did someone push him? Stick around, because this is a case with secrets buried deep in obsession, pressure, and a love story that turned into a nightmare. Ethan had once been a bright, cheerful high school student. He lived with his parents, worked hard, and had dreams. But then, everything changed when he met Emily Ramirez, a girl from his school he fell hopelessly in love with. He never had the courage to talk to her at first. Just seeing her in the hallways would send his heart racing. But over time, obsession began to take hold. Ethan stopped caring about school, lost focus on everything but her. His grades slipped. He barely ate. His parents grew concerned and took him to see a psychiatrist. Diagnosis: clinical depression. He was prescribed medication, and for a while, things seemed to get better. Eventually, he approached Emily. They started talking online. Soon they were dating. Over the next 2 years, Ethan gave his entire world to her. After Ethan dropped out of school and started working full-time as a cab driver, things seemed to stabilize. But beneath the surface, his mental health was starting to spiral again. He began acting strange. He flirted aggressively with female passengers, often making them uncomfortable. One woman, around 25, reported that Ethan kept asking for her number and making crude jokes. When she told him off, he snapped, screamed at her and kicked her out of the cab in the middle of the road. That wasn't just a red flag. That was a sirens blaring kind of warning. His wife, Emily, noticed the change too. She knew something was off. He'd come home late. He was distant, paranoid, angry. They fought constantly. One night during a fight, Ethan even said, "Why should I care? You're broken. You can't even give me a child." Emily was devastated. Meanwhile, Ethan was working insane hours, driving from 6 a.m. to midnight, barely sleeping, smoking constantly to stay awake. Then one early morning, around 4 a.m., something happened that would change everything. While parked near an industrial lot, finishing a cigarette, a woman named Vanessa, 27, approached his car. She asked if he was available for a ride. Ethan, noticing how attractive she was, lit up. "Of course. Hop in. No charge," he said with a grin. During the ride, they chatted. Vanessa was open, flirty, charismatic. Ethan was hooked. She gave him her number before leaving. He couldn't believe his luck. That afternoon, he texted her. "Want to grab a coffee tonight?" She agreed. That night at the cafe, Vanessa opened up. "I'm tired, Ethan," she told him, tears in her eyes. "I've been doing sex work just to survive. I don't want this life anymore. I wish someone would save me." And in that moment, without hesitation, Ethan said, "Then I'll save you. Leave that behind. I want to be with you. I'll divorce Emily. Let's start a new life together." What followed was a dangerous affair. Ethan and Vanessa started meeting constantly. He'd rent motel rooms. He gave her money. Sometimes he even sold items from his own apartment just to support her. Emily had no idea her husband was now living a double life. Ethan was slipping further into obsession. Vanessa, meanwhile, began asking for more, a permanent place to stay. "I'm tired of motels," she told him. "If we're serious, get me a real apartment. You already rent one with your wife, right?" That's when Ethan started thinking dangerously. He began looking for cheaper apartments. The one he shared with Emily cost him $1,200. What if I downgrade hers to a $900 place, he thought, and used the leftover to rent Vanessa her own. His plan was reckless. Stupid. Desperate. But to him, it made perfect sense. He was ready to lie, steal, and destroy his marriage, all for Vanessa. But what neither of them knew was that they were heading straight into a tragedy. And someone wouldn't make it out alive. Ethan's life was falling apart faster than he could lie about it. He had downgraded his wife's apartment to a rundown unit in a sketchy part of Cleveland's East Side, just so he could afford to rent a nicer place for Vanessa, his new lover. That alone tells you how far gone he was. And it didn't stop there. Vanessa told him she had nothing, no furniture, barely any clothes, not even dishes. Ethan, desperate to keep her happy, started taking furniture from the apartment he shared with Emily, even selling some of it to buy her a brand new couch and kitchen setup. He gave her $300 to decorate the place, and started spending the night at her apartment, more and more frequently. To Emily, he claimed, "Work's been crazy. I've been pulling overnight shifts." In reality, he was with Vanessa, drinking, smoking, doing drugs. Vanessa even started bringing her friends over. They drank his booze, smoked his weed, and Ethan paid for everything. After 3 months of this chaos, Ethan's marriage was crumbling. He and Emily were preparing for divorce. Vanessa? She wanted more money. The $300 here and there wasn't enough anymore. She controlled him completely. She snapped her fingers, and Ethan obeyed. "I want real support," she told him. "If you can't handle that, maybe I need someone else." One day, while Ethan was out driving, Vanessa got a visit from her landlord. She hadn't paid rent in weeks. He gave her an ultimatum. "Pay now or get out." Vanessa didn't panic, she pivoted. She noticed her upstairs neighbor, a lonely 59-year-old retired veteran named Harold Mackenzie, sitting on the stairs with a cigarette and a worried look. She approached him like a predator smelling weakness. "Hey, if rent's too much for you, why not split mine? The apartment's got 2 bedrooms. You can pay just half." Harold was stunned. A beautiful young woman offering him a place to stay for cheap? He couldn't believe his luck. He moved in the next day. At first, he was confused. "Wait, aren't you engaged?" Vanessa shrugged. "My fiancé's always gone. He doesn't care. Trust me, I control him. You don't have to worry." Harold, lonely and broke, convinced himself this was fine. "I'm not gonna mess with her business. I'll just stay out of the way." Then came the night that changed everything. Around 11 p.m., Ethan walked into Vanessa's apartment unannounced. He was already furious from the stress of the day. But what he saw when he opened the door, that pushed him over the edge. 2 of Vanessa's friends were passed out on the couch, drunk. Loud music was playing. And then, he saw Harold, a strange older man, sitting in his girlfriend's living room, smoking a cigarette like he lived there. Ethan froze. "Who the hell is this?" Vanessa looked up casually and said, "He lives here now. He pays rent." "Chill." That's when everything snapped. Things were spiraling out of control, and Ethan didn't even realize how far gone he was. Vanessa tried to calm him down when he walked in and saw Harold, the older man, again. "Relax, babe. He's just my old neighbor. Got kicked out of his place, no money. I told him he could split rent with me. That's it." And Ethan? Of course, he bought it. Because that's what he did with Vanessa. Whatever she said, he believed. She told him it was just about rent. That Harold was old. That he was helping out. And Ethan agreed to let it go. Weeks passed. The three of them shared that small apartment like some twisted, broken household. They drank together. Smoked together. Did drugs together. And while Ethan was cheating on his wife, Vanessa had begun sleeping with Harold too, behind Ethan's back. It was a mess. It was a tragedy in slow motion. Then came the night that pushed Ethan over the edge. It was around 5 p.m. on a Friday. Vanessa texted him, "Pick up booze. We've got friends coming over tonight. And Harold's here too." Ethan, already fighting with his wife again, snapped. They'd stopped sleeping together. Barely spoke. He was throwing her a few bucks a day, just enough to shut her up. She begged him to fix things. "Let's try again. Let's go to counseling. Let's try for a baby." But Ethan had already made up his mind. He was done. That night, he picked up 5 bottles of cheap beer, started drinking while driving. Yes, he was picking up passengers while drunk. By 11 p.m., he was plastered and stumbling into Vanessa's apartment with 2 takeout bags and a glazed-over stare. There they were. Vanessa and 3 of her friends, laughing, vaping, dancing. Harold, red-eyed, holding a drink, swaying to the music. Ethan sat down, breathing heavy, drunk and tired. But something was eating at him. He hated that Harold was always around. He hated that he had to share her. Even if he didn't know what was really going on, he felt it. Then Vanessa did something that made his blood boil. She started dancing with Harold. Holding his hands. Smiling. "What the hell is this?" Ethan slurred. "Vanessa, stop dancing with him. You want to dance? Dance with me. Not that old guy." She ignored him. She laughed. She kept dancing. That was it. Ethan snapped. He lunged. He pulled her by the hair, hard. "I said sit down." Everyone froze. Even Harold. Vanessa hit the floor, screaming. Ethan stood over her, fists clenched, face red. That wasn't the end. That was just the beginning. That night, the laughter turned to horror, and what started as a party ended with blood on the sidewalk. Everyone was laughing. Even Harold, the old guy, tried to calm Ethan down. "Hey man, chill out. That's no way to treat a woman, not in front of people." But Ethan didn't care. He grabbed Vanessa again. Threw her to the ground. She got up, humiliated, went straight to her friends and sat far from him. They were done. She wasn't talking to him anymore. And that silence? It destroyed Ethan. He kept drinking. Chugging bottle after bottle like he was trying to drown the rage. All he could think about was Harold. "I'm gonna hurt that guy," he whispered to himself. "I swear to God I'm gonna do something." Eventually, he stumbled over to Vanessa, his eyes red, his breath stinking of beer. "Vanessa, please. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit you." I swear. Just talk to me. She looked him dead in the eye. I don't forgive you. He begged. Tried to hug her. She pushed him away. Don't touch me. Ethan fell to his knees. Please, just let me kiss your feet. I'll do anything. She scoffed. You hit me in front of my friends. If you want to apologize, kiss my feet in front of them. Right now. And he did. He knelt in front of her and kissed her feet on the table while everyone watched. The room went silent. Even the music stopped. Even Harold looked uncomfortable. Harold got a call. Stepped outside to meet someone at the gas station down the street. Now it was just Ethan, Vanessa, and the other girls. Ethan sat in the corner. Silent. The alcohol started wearing off. Reality started creeping back in. He lit cigarette after cigarette. Didn't say a word. Vanessa walked over. Hey, you okay? No reply. Ethan was too deep in his own shame. He realized what he had done. He felt worthless. Powerless. His pride shattered. Then, a knock. Loud. Urgent. Repeated. Vanessa ran to the door. It was her neighbor. You need to come quick. That guy who comes here, he's lying in the street. He's bleeding. From his head. Vanessa froze. She ran downstairs, barefoot, breathless. And there he was. Ethan, on the ground, blood pouring from his skull. Neck twisted. Arms broken. Legs motionless. Dead. She screamed. Ethan! Wake up! Ethan, please! But he was gone. The neighbors came running. So did Harold. Someone called 911. The cops arrived minutes later. Vanessa ran. Didn't grab much. She was drunk. Shaking. In shock. She just disappeared into the night. But the investigation had already started. Police questioned everyone, the girls, Harold, the neighbor. They all told the same story. They were fighting. She made him kiss her feet. He was drinking heavy. Then he went into the room. Next thing we know, he's on the sidewalk. Harold said. I left before it happened. He was acting weird. Upset. But I didn't think he'd jump. So what really happened? Did Ethan jump from the 4th floor apartment? Or did someone push him? Was it an accident, a suicide, or murder? When Vanessa was finally found, she told detectives her side. He was drunk. Humiliated. I didn't lay a finger on him. He kissed my feet and kept drinking. I went into the other room, then I heard people screaming. To this day, the case remains in a gray area. No charges were filed. The death ruled inconclusive. But everyone who was there that night knows. Something dark happened in that apartment. And Ethan Walker never walked out. Case closed, drunk, broken, and alone. The forensic team began their investigation. First, they analyzed Ethan's body and toxicology report. What they found shocked even the seasoned officers. His blood alcohol level was dangerously high. So high, in fact, that it could cause delirium, paranoia, impulsivity, even hallucinations. That much alcohol can turn a window into a door, and a bad thought into a fatal one. Then, they noticed something strange. On Ethan's hands were traces of rubber from the window frame. It suggested that as he was falling, or maybe right before, he tried to grab onto the edge. That small detail told them one thing. No one pushed him. There were no fingerprints on his back. No bruises consistent with force. He jumped. Or slipped. Most likely, Ethan mistook the window for a door, tried to exit the room in a drunken haze, and realized, too late, he was falling. The police continued questioning Vanessa, now the center of public suspicion. She was investigated for over 420 days. They dug through everything: phone records, texts, the apartment layout, witness statements. And in the end, the case was closed. Ruled an accidental death fueled by alcohol and emotional collapse. This story isn't just about Ethan Walker. It's about the dark spiral that can happen when obsession, heartbreak, and alcohol collide. Ethan followed a path that led him away from love and straight into chaos. He traded a quiet life for noise, and that noise drowned him. Maybe if he had stayed with his wife, maybe if he'd stayed sober that night, maybe he'd still be here. Stay grounded. Stay safe. And if you're hurting, talk to someone. Please. If this story made you think, drop a comment and let us know what you believe. Was Ethan's fall truly an accident? Or was it something darker? Don't forget to like the video, and if you're new here, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next twisted tale.